The sun was setting, casting a warm glow over the city, and Sarah could barely contain the anxiety churning in her stomach. She stood in front of the small, cozy cafe, her heart racing as she gripped her daughter's tiny hand. Her little girl, Emma, looked up at her with wide, innocent eyes, blissfully unaware of the heavy emotions her mother was carrying. It wasn't supposed to be this way, a blind date, a chance for Sarah to finally start over. To find someone who could love her and maybe, just maybe, accept her as a package deal with her daughter. After all, she had tried the dating scene before, but her past relationships never lasted. There was always something missing, and she knew it wasn't just her. It was the little girl clinging to her side, but today felt different. The man she was meeting, James, had seemed kind on the phone, understanding when she mentioned Emma. He didn't mind that Sarah had a daughter, which was a relief. So why did she still feel like this date was doomed from the start? Taking a deep breath, Sarah forced a smile as she stepped into the cafe, holding her daughter's hand firmly. The soft chatter of other customers filled the air, but her nerves were loud enough to drown it out. She spotted James immediately. He was sitting at a small table by the window, looking out at the mountains in the distance. His dark blue shirt and neatly combed hair gave him a calm, collected look, but it was the way his face shifted when he saw them approaching that made Sarah pause. James didn't smile. In fact, his expression seemed a little uneasy. His eyes flickered between Sarah and Emma, almost uncertain of what to make of this unexpected scene. Sarah felt a knot tighten in her chest, and for a moment she thought about turning around and walking out. But Emma tugged on her hand, her tiny voice breaking through the tension. "Mommy, is this the nice man you told me about?" Sarah knelt down to her daughter's level and smiled softly. "Yes, sweetie, this is James." Emma's innocent curiosity seemed to melt some of the tension, but Sarah could still feel it. James didn't move from his seat, and there was a long silence before he finally spoke. "You brought her along?" His voice was gentle but uncertain, as if he wasn't sure how to process the fact that Sarah had brought her daughter on a first date. Sarah's heart sank. Of course, he didn't expect her to be a mother with a child. Why would he? What man would want to take on the responsibility of raising someone else's child? But Sarah wasn't ready to walk away. Not yet. "Yes," she said softly. "Emma's a part of me. She's my world." There was a long pause. James seemed to study her, his blue eyes meeting hers with a mix of curiosity and hesitation. "I didn't know. I didn't expect this." Sarah could hear the judgment in his words, even if he didn't say it outright. She felt her chest tighten, but she refused to let it show. She wanted to prove to herself and to Emma that she wasn't just some woman hiding behind her daughter. She was worthy of love, of second chances. Taking Emma's hand, Sarah walked over to the table, sitting down as Emma climbed into her lap. She kept her focus on James, trying to read his expression. She didn't know why she cared so much, but it was important that he understood. As the conversation began to flow awkwardly, Sarah could feel the walls slowly coming down. It wasn't easy. No first date ever was. But there was something about the way James started to open up. As they talked about their lives, Sarah could see a change in him. He started to soften, to smile more, and before long, the tension that had been so thick in the air began to dissipate. But it was Emma who truly changed everything. In the middle of the conversation, while Sarah and James were discussing their favorite childhood memories, Emma reached up to touch James' hand, her small fingers shyly brushing against his. Sarah froze, unsure of what James' reaction would be. Would he pull away, uncomfortable with the gesture? Would he dismiss her daughter like so many had done before? Instead, James looked down at Emma, a small smile tugging at his lips. "Hi, Emma," he said softly, his voice warm. Emma smiled back, her innocence and trust disarming him completely. "Hi," she replied, her voice sweet and untainted by any reservations. "I like your watch. It's shiny." James chuckled softly, holding his wrist out for Emma to inspect. "It is shiny, isn't it?" And just like that, a connection was made. Something clicked between James and Emma. something that hadn't been there when they first sat down. Sarah watched in awe as James slowly but surely relaxed, his guarded walls coming down with every passing second. By the time the meal was over, Sarah felt a warmth in her chest that she hadn't expected. James wasn't the man she had imagined, nor the man she'd hoped he would be, but something unexpected had happened. He hadn't walked away, he hadn't run from her or from Emma. Instead, he had stayed, listened, and even connected with her little girl in a way that no one had ever done before, and that, in itself, was enough. As they stood up to leave, James surprised Sarah with a question that she hadn't expected at all. "Would you like to go for a walk?" he asked, his voice genuine. "I'd love to get to know you both better." Sarah was taken aback. Was this really happening? She had come to this date expecting nothing but disappointment. Instead, she was walking out of the cafe with the hope of a second chance, a chance for herself and for Emma. As they walked outside into the crisp evening air, Sarah's heart swelled with something she hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. Hope that there were still good men in the world, men who saw beyond the baggage, beyond the complications, and into the heart of a person. If you believe in second chances and kindness, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel. Your support means the world to us, and we want to keep sharing stories like this one. As the night drew on, and Sarah felt the warmth of the moment, she knew she had made the right choice. For the first time in a long while, she wasn't alone. She had found someone who saw her, and her daughter, for who they truly were. If this story touched your heart, please let us know in the comments below. We love hearing from you, and your words mean everything to us.